in order we have the conversation flow better. Just a minute. The page is downloading. Okay. In order we have. Now we are on live on YouTube channel. So good evening, YouTube. So Wanda, can you hear me now? Yes? Okay. So I sent to you the questions on the chat. Today we will discuss about traffic rules. And now I will split you in small room. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, guys, so please accept the invitation of the small room, and 5 minutes before the end, I will call you back to the main room, okay? So, see you soon. Just a moment. Okay. Okay, so we are here. Edson, Gustavo, and Wanda. Wanda, I think that you didn't present yourself for us yet. So could you introduce yourself, please?
Okay. I'm Wanda. I'm from Niterói, Rio de Janeiro. I'm a dancer. I'm a scuba dive too. In my backyard yard today appear many possums. Do you know what is possum? Gambá.
Ah,
Gambá. Many.
a
Oh
new
my
word
gosh, I don't know
today.
what to do.
Oh my goodness.
It's really strange, but it's okay.
It happens.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you receive the questions?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
So guys, so as I said, we will talk about traffic rules. And I'd like, we can start with you, Wanda. Can you choose a question for us and you can read, respond, and choose someone, other person to respond as well, please?
Okay. And number 9. In your opinion, what's the safest vehicle in terms of locomotion? I think for me, in my thought, I don't know nothing, but I think is train. But all the people uh, that have knowledge about this say this is airplane.
Can you choose
And
the
you
number
answer.
2? Yes, please.
I agree with you, with many people too. I just try to follow the statistics and see how many accidents there are for each type of vehicle, and airplane has the mean has the rate more, how can I say, the minimum rate between all the vehicles, and it's the more safety based on statistics. I know that every person has a opinion, has an opinion, and it can be different.
Can you choose another person to respond? I think that
Ah, yeah.
there is
Gustavo, please.
just Gustavo. Okay.
And you, Sarah? Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think is airplanes. I think it's the safest one. But I was listening, I think, a podcast, and the guy was talking about airplane and stuff like that. Uh, the I'm gonna say the commercial. I don't know that's the right word. The commercial airplanes we could go 50%, 100% in the airplane. That is the safest one. But when there's the small airplane that go just two, three people there, that's not so safe because the guy was fixing the airplane is the same as the pilot, so they do a lot of stuff at the same time, and the probability to do something bad with that, they forgot something, is bigger. So I'm gonna say that the safety is airplane, but the biggest one, like the biggest company. And you, Sarah?
Yes, I agree with you. And as Wanda said, I'm thinking about the train because maybe it's safest when we compare to cars and motorcycle and others. But their plan, yes, according to statistical base, maybe airplane is the safest uh, cycle in terms of locomotion. But when we think about the train, there is in Brazil, I mean, there is no efforts to increase this kind of a vehicle train. Maybe other other countries, maybe uh, they use more than us.
Yeah,
But
Europe, for
yeah,
example.
and when we think about it, in fact, we can move a huge people and a huge quantity of people, and deep, it is hard to listen or see some kind of a crash or accident. So maybe, but airplane, of course, is the safest in terms of statistical base when we talk about locomotion. Okay, so now, Gustavo, can you choose another question for us, please?
Yeah. And Sarah, you and Wanda was talking about train. I don't remember any accident about train that happened recently. If the person ride the train the right way, because if you see in the India and the person like that, the people
Yes,
are go. So
yes,
yeah, that's definitely gonna be a bad thing. But yeah, it's hard to see some accident. I go the number two. Do you know who have respect to traffic rules? Would they be only for drivers? I don't agree. I think for the thing works, everybody needs to follow the rules. The the drivers, the pedestrian, uh, the bicycle guys, everybody need to follow for the things work. Yeah, like pedestrian, we know that there's a lot of places that don't have a cross side, so you need to do by yourself and something like that. But for everybody works, you need to everybody's agreeing with that and do the right thing. And you, Wanda?
Yeah, I know many people have to respect to traffic rules. Everyone. Uh, we don't like fio. Como é que é multa? I don't know, multa.
Fee,
Fio? Fee.
fee.
We don't like
uma
fee,
taxa.
and fee is so strong for when we don't respect the rules. But I think the rules need to be for pedestrian and for cyclists too, because cyclists and for motorcyclists, because motorcycles is so bad drivers. They go in the contramão, nothing about traffic lights. I think the guarda de trânsito, I don't know, guarda de trânsito, traffic
Man,
officer,
I don't know.
traffic man.
The yellow
And
police.
Let me check.
Needs to see about
Traffic guard.
traffic guard. Yes. And how about you, Sarah?
Yes, of course, that all of us, even we are drivers, pedestrians, motorcycle, and cyclists, we need to respect the traffic rules, not only drivers. And of course, that we can have a lot of accidents caused because of a pedestrian didn't respect the traffic rule in that time, or a motorcycle. So I agree with you all. And you, Edson, what do you think?
For me, the traffic rules are for everyone, just like you said. And I know people who respect some rules, but I don't believe they respect all of them. Me, for example, I confess sometimes I cross the street when the traffic is red. Me as a pedestrian and with the street empty, but in other countries is lack of respect, for example. But I agree with Wanda too. The riders, those who drive a motorcycle, they think they are king of the streets, and they can ride whatever they want, and I think it's a mess, the traffic rules in that sense. There are much to improve the laws in this kind of situation.
Yes, of course. All of you responded yes. So, Edson, can you go ahead and choose another question for us, please?
It's gonna be the third one. Do you drive? Do you like it? What's the most traffic wrong you notice in other drivers when you are driving? Can you feel angry in this situation? In São Paulo, fortunately and unfortunately, I don't drive. Despite I have a driver license, I don't have a car, so I can't drive. But observing other drivers, I can notice they use the cell phone a lot when they are driving. This is too dangerous, and it bothers me a lot when I see this kind of situation. I think it's the most it's the moment when I am more bothered about the traffic. I think when people are too stressed about the 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 vehicles are stopped in the traffic. I don't know how to say engarrafamento. The people stay more aggressive, and they talk aggressively with other people. This is bad. I don't like it too. I think that's it. These two situations I don't like in the traffic. And what about you, Gustavo?
Yes, I drive a motorcycle, but not like that crazy one. I love my life and I want to live for a long time. So yeah, I respect these rules.
I thank
What?
you. I thank
Yeah,
you.
my body and my family agree with me. uh, what annoyed me when I am driving is when the driver don't give a sign when they go turn left or right, because this is really dangerous. They just cut you in front of you, and so yeah, that's a problem because it's easy for you to fall down the motorcycle. And if you a car, it's just an accident and gonna break something, but not the person. But in a motorcycle, that's a big problem, and people do that. So I felt crazy when that happened. Yeah, I think that the most thing that annoyed me, and cell phone as well, but this distraction. Uh, but I think that the most thing that I hate when that happened. And you, Wanda?
Yeah, for me, I am a driver. I drive car and cycle and bike. And I get stressed with the person have so hurry to get in the front of me uh, with a rudeness um, style. I think it's not necessary. The traffic light is red, and the person accelerate the car to get in front of me. Why? And stop to the red light. I get me so angry and stressed. Why this kind of thing? Oh my gosh. And I agree with you. The sign too. If I put the sign, I want to turn left or right, person is stressed and get accelerate speed a lot to pass me. Oh my gosh, what? I think this kind of rudeness I dislike. And you, Sarah, how about?
Yes, of course. For me, the top of the thing that I could say is don't give the sign when people, for example, will turn left or right, and you are behind, and you wait to to go ahead or to turn as well. And as Gustavo said, this kind of wrong is not so dangerous for a driver of car, but for motorcycle is so dangerous.
Yeah,
It could promote an accident, And for motorcycle, a little accident is enough to promote a huge consequent result, a huge result. So I had an accident 5 months ago at I don't know the name. I don't know. Let me check. Quadriciclo. I don't know if you know, but I had a crash in my body, and my husband broke him elbow. So
Okay.
it was so hard. It has been so hard to us. He already done two surgeries at elbow to recover the movement. So
Wow.
it's so bad and so sad to us to pass for this kind of situation. And we think that it was a thing that didn't happen normally, our situation. But when we think about the normal traffic situation, we can avoid a lot of accidents just uh, doing, just giving the signs, just don't using the cell phone at that traffic, at the traffic. So for me, I think that's it, as I said. So now let me choose a question for us.
Number
Let me see. Okay, number 7. What is your advice for drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists? Would you change something at traffic rules? What is your opinion, Edson, about this question?
Well, I would say keep calm, don't be stressed in traffic, respect the rules, and for the rest, lucky take care of. uh, I don't know what I would change in traffic rules. Uh, maybe try to do more campaigns around the country to respect the traffic rules. Increase the fee for those who don't respect it. Maybe like the law for the rules for those who drink and drive. The amount of money has increased, and I think when the financial aspect is hurt, people can give more attention to these rules. It's an option, but I think it's not the ideal option. It's not the first or the ideal one. I don't know. I firstly I would think in these options. And what about you, Vanda?
I totally agree with you, and I can add my advice for cycling and drivers and motorcycling, etc., is think about the streets are from everyone, for pedestrians, for drivers, for motorcycling, etc. It's for everyone. And when you take the key for the car, think about the street is not for you, only for you. It's only for all the people. Is that? And how about you, Gustav?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think empathy, right, man? And when you drive, when you are pedestrian, you are not the owner of the street. So yeah, respect everybody. Uh, Try to put yourself in the shoes of others. How it's gonna be if you are on the other side. And change the rules, the laws. I think if someone run over someone and kill in the traffic when he was riding, I think he need to go to jail and not to pay a fee and go out. So I think that's an important thing to happen because a lot of people pay a lot of amount like 10,000 and go out and the other person died and just it. Uh, and the other stuff, I don't know, change the way the fuels are uh not made, but how can I say that? Like if I speed run and I pass in the radar, so you know the fee is like 200. For me, is a lot, but for a person that's rich, that's nothing. It's nothing. So they paid up. That's I prefer to speed run and pay 200. That's nothing. But maybe if the the fee is about the percent of the wage, how much they earn per month. So it's like, I don't know, 10%. So for me, 10% is gonna be X, and for each, the 10% is gonna be a lot of more. So maybe they can feel a little more the wage of broken the rule, maybe. Uh, yeah, I think that's the boat that I would change that I think right now. And you, Sarah.
Yes, I think that with the device that don't drink. If you drink, don't drive. Please, please, because I think this is the most bad situation that you could have when some person pass uh, and maybe kill someone in this situation. I think that our traffic rules have changed in 2016 when we have the change of this kind of rule that when some driver kills someone and he is in an alcoholic situation, he is in jail. But I think that this kind of situation could be more strict yet, more hard, a harder situation for them because we always think listen that someone killed a person in the traffic and it was uh, it it is not happen neither with them with this person. So I could say first, if you drink, don't drive. For pedestrians, take care of yourself because some news we listen as well. A person is walking in a street and a car pass and kill this person, and maybe the pedestrian is correct in that situation. For cyclists, the same. Take care of yourself and, of course, cross the street in the correct way. Maybe we see a pedestrian or a cyclist crossing the street, a road in the middle of the road it's so dangerous. So, in my opinion, this is another advice that I could say.
Yeah, Sarah, I add in the small cities, don't have a lei seca. In the big cities, there is lei seca, but in small cities, not. And then they drink a lot and drive with drinking. It's no, we don't see the lei seca or another kind of rules for small cities. And so dangerous for young people, majority. Yeah, I
Yes,
agree totally with you.
I lost a friend. She was backing to home, and another guy in another car in front of her. So uh, they were uh, going in different ways, but the guy crossed the road and crashing in
Oh,
front of her, and she killed at the moment. The guy was drunk. So it's so sad for us, for her family, and she was correct in that way. So I think that this kind of speech is so sad for our society, and we need to punish this kind of person uh, stricter in a stricter way.
yeah. This kind of subject is so important to discuss because we uh, um, before the pandemic, lei seca is so strong here in my city. Now I never saw lei seca. I never saw blitz for this kind of situation.
We
And
need to
they
improve
start to drink a lot and driving.
so dangerous. So Wanda, please could you choose another question for us?
Okay, number 4. Do you have an example of traffic rules for pedestrian? I use it to follow these rules. I think no cross the red light. Yeah, but I don't follow. If you don't have cars in the street, this traffic light is red, is green for the car, and don't have car, I cross. But I know it's prohibited, but in other country like France or another European countries, I think the traffic guard, make a fee for this person. But here I cross, but I know I am wrong. I confess. And you, Edson?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think when people cross the street, when the traffic lights are red, when they cross the street out of the crosswalk too. Uh, Most of the time I follow the rules, but not all the time. Sometimes I look at the right. There's coming no one, and I looked left. There's coming no one, and I cross the walk out of the crosswalk. I cross the street out of the crosswalk. Uh, I I know that's not right too. For example, once I was in interchange traveling. I was in Switzerland, and I was on a walk, taking a walk, and I was and the traffic lights were red. No one was coming. I crossed the street, but when I looked back, the people around me was looking at me as I was crazy. And I I totally understood that in their country, um, even if no one is coming, uh, it's not good. It's not welcome. Not it's not healthy. You cross the street uh, in the wrong time. And what about you, Sarah?
Yes, an example of a traffic rule for pedestrians is don't cross the street out of the crosswalking, I think. But I I don't know someone who received some fee for that. But I think that there is this kind of rule in our law. But I think that, for example, if you stop the traffic, if you, for example, if I stop in front of the cars and I don't let anyone to pass uh, to go ahead. I think that there is a fee as well, and is hard because you are interrupting a traffic situation, a traffic way. Cars need to pass. So I think that is a kind of a traffic rule for pedestrians. And yes, I I have to agree with you that sometimes I don't cross the street in the correct way, but I try. I try always to cross. But as Edson said, maybe in another countries the people respect more. We need to change this kind of thought in Brazil, and this could start with us. And yes, I will try to respect more. And you, Gustavo, what do you think?
Yeah, I on the same page you guys. At you guys. I know the red from the cross line. Uh, and what you said, Sarah, I know there is a rule about that, but I think if you are in the street in the sidewalk and you stop as well and block people to come in and come out, so you get a fee as well. I don't know if someone get that, but is to block the movement of the person, the path of the person. Uh, and I know in Japan, for example, and sometimes that's crazy because you see some photos that it's like 10 p.m. There's nothing coming, not a car, anyone, and there's people like 10, 20 people waiting for the green light to cross the street. Uh, but yeah, it's important. I think that's a way that the things work there. And if it doesn't work that way, probably it's gonna need more police guard to see if the people are doing the right thing, or more cameras. In the end, all of that is gonna be expensive for population. So yeah, I think is the way that they make things work. Uh, and I think it's working fine for them. I hope we can change it one day here, our rules and the traffic and other stuff as well.
And yes, and another thing that I am thinking about is the louder sound of cars in some spaces. For example, close to hospital, schools, and some places that are more sensitive. We need to pay more attention on that. So I think that there are some rules for that as well. So guys, that you were in a small room, welcome back. I'd like to know how was the conversation for you? How was the conversation for you, Ayla?
You are so good, Sarah. I think it's an important subject to talk, and we can share example and about the traffic in our cities. And in my city, fortunately, the traffic is no good example to follow because it's not respectful, and there is sometimes there is accident, and 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 that's it.
Good. We talked about some specific rules of our cities as well, and maybe it's different. I understand. And for you, Andrea, today is your birthday, so you can
Yes.
talk a lot. It's your
Yes.
gift, and you are a gift for us.
Thank you, Sarah.
How
The
was the conversation for
conversation,
you?
the conversation was really good because we share our experience in traffic, for example, and we can see which happened in the other city. For example, in the city of Jefferson, it's completely different than my city, and it's really important to thinking about we are doing in a traffic.
Oh, cool. Amazing. And for you, Jefferson, how was the conversation for you?
I think was amazing because we share a lot of experience about the situation where we live, about the traffic light, about the crosswalk, about signals, about bike lane. And it's very important to respect the pedestrian, to respect the cyclist, and to respect the rules. The rules. It's very important to have a better life where we live. And here in Goiânia, we try to do this with the velocity of the cars, less velocity now. So for who is driving, it's not so good sometimes. Just it's a kind of slow motion when you drive, but you need to respect the cyclists and to respect the pedestrians.
Yes, of course, we totally agree with you guys. So it was an amazing conversation today. And now, let me talk that I always like to provide this opportunity to check with you how was the conversation, because it's an opportunity you talk more in English and talk with us as well. So guys, we have a survey for this conversation. I will put on the chat for you, and it is just to understand how the conversations are doing and how we could improve our meetings. Okay? So guys, as I said, I'm so happy to be here with you. I wish you all a good night, a good weekend. Of course, that I would like to see you on the next Wednesday in the same time. And to conclude, Andrea, please have a good night and happy birthday. I wish you all the
Birds
best.
and Andrea.
Thank you, guys. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy today because I'm here with you. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
we are happy to be here with you as well. So, guys, thank you all. And
Thank you.
bye bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye,
Thank you
guys.
for your
Good
time.